Okay, I'll shift it to where we
Yeah.
normally go.
Yeah.
This is a dumb question, but you're used to that from me. Would you take 2-1 in this 3-game deal and never play it?
Yes, sir. Absolutely. I asked my listeners last week, I'll make a deal with you. You get to win your 2 home games, but you lose the rest of your road games. Would you do it? And some people were saying yes. That's just honesty, you know. This Tennessee team from here is capable of, look, if Tennessee was to win their 2 home games, if they were to do that, that'd be wins over A&M, and at the end of the year, Georgia in this building. 2 rather loud booms. And then, of course, you'd give it back with at Kentucky, at Alabama. But to your point, look, it's going to be really difficult. The thing about A&M, while you have that graphic up there, they're unranked, right? Which is a weird thing because they have a tremendous amount of talent, as we all know. I had a beat writer on there from there today who's joined us several times, who's really, really a great guest. And Robert Cessna's his name. He's been down there for forever. He's a Pittsburgh guy, but he's been there for 30 some odd years. This is what Alabama did in a victory over the weekend. They got away with this now. I don't know if you guys were aware of this, but I'm going to share it with you. They committed 14 penalties. They lost the turnover battle. They rushed for only 23 yards. They were 4 of 12 on third down, and they gave up 6 sacks. And when you count sacks and hurries, it was well into the double digits. And they still won the game. And we talk about belief. And that's Texas A&M history, George, in a nutshell. You and I were talking about it a couple weeks ago. Their history is such that if you will find a way to underachieve, they're the ones that are going to do it. Their last division championship was 1998. And they've been in divisional leagues for 25 years. 1998. I mean, think about that.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
So let me try it this way.
Yeah.
So another loss to Jimbo, if it happens Saturday.
Right.
How close to the edge is he getting?
He coached Saturday like a guy that doesn't want to be there. I don't know in my life if I've ever seen somebody let a clock run down in the second half, take a timeout, which is your first time out of a half, down 2 scores and come out and kick a field goal. I mean, what are we doing? What you do there is you go out there and kick the field goal, if you're going to do that, with 2 minutes and 20 seconds left, and then you onside kick the ball. No, you kick the ball off. You've got 3 timeouts. You make Alabama get a first down to win the game, or you get it back in your building with a shot to make something loud happen. You can't do either or there, though, which is what he did. And, George, I just wonder about him. I wonder if Jameis Winston never came along, if we'd even know this guy's name. And I'm being serious when I say that.
It is an interesting thought that you've got because he's gotten a ton of money.
Yep.
He's under down there what would be kind of almost Calipari-like pressure.
Yeah.
Because down there, this is a religion down there.
Yeah.
And, I mean, look at the number of people in that stadium.
Mm-hmm.
I do wonder if there's a piece of him that is just sort of said, I'm ready to get bought out.
I think a lot of these guys get to that point where it's almost that be careful what you wish for adage.
Yep.
You get one of these jobs. We know people in our industry who, climb way up there. And you talk to them and they're like, God, I couldn't wait. I couldn't wait to get out of there. Just couldn't wait. Everything I dreamed of. I got everything I dreamed of, and I just couldn't wait to get out of there. A&M under Jimbo Fisher in SEC road games as an underdog, he's 0-9. Never won a game as a road dog. Never won a game. Hasn't won a game on the road in 2 years.
And now he's coming into Neyland.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's an easy place, huh?
And Tennessee has a week off. And I have the weirdest feeling that I do not like Tennessee's chances in this game. I don't know why. I would have loved Tennessee's chances if A&M would have defeated Alabama, because they were not going to handle that spot well. That's the history of their program. They were going to
wouldn't come out of the clouds.
Yep, they would have given it right back. Now it's almost like you're playing a team that's super talented with a great defensive line that's going to come at your quarterback, that held Jalen Milroe in the pocket last week and made him play from the pocket. They're going to do the opposite with Joe Milton. They're going to force him either right or left to get out of the pocket. Joe has trouble throwing the ball on the run, which is pretty documented. And so far, Joe Milton's top passing day as an SEC quarterback is 287 yards. Both quarterbacks that beat that A&M team got well into the 300s. And I think that Milton's probably going to have to do that Saturday for Tennessee to win, because I think A&M's going to take that running game away from the Vols. And look, the Vols have a top 10 running attack in America, and they've got a great stable of backs, but A&M's got an NFL defensive line. They just do. I mean, they're very good at tackle. They're very good at end. They rotate several guys. This is going to be, they're going to turn this thing into a big boy game Saturday. The good news for Tennessee is there's a guy in A&M secondary named DeBerry, who ought to be called like Route DeBerry or the DeBerry Highway, because everybody throws on him. Miami targeted him. He's a transfer from, I want to say, he's a transfer from somewhere. But there's another transfer from the ACC who's injured, and so they're kind of down to him. But Miami picked on him, and Alabama just picked him apart last week. I feel sorry for that kid, because that's what's going to happen in Neyland Stadium Saturday.
Attention, Kmart shoppers. We're going.
Blue light Kelly, special on DeBerry Island.
Kelly, what do you got?
I was just thinking, like, if you're Jimbo Fisher and you're guaranteed all this money, I mean, that's the way a lot of coaches are thinking. I mean, I'm not saying that the guy's trying to get fired, but just like what you talked about, like, he's going to get his money regardless. So some of these guys get in positions where they just don't want to be there anymore, and then they get paid anyway. So, like, I think that's kind of where he is. And I'm glad you said that, because I don't think this is a great matchup for Tennessee. I really don't. I don't know if he's fighting. I don't know if he's fighting for his job, but they're going to be ready to play. And I'm kind of like what you said and what George said. If they would have won last week, they'd have still been in the clouds. But he's got to win this week, I think. And I just don't think it's a good matchup.
I agree with you. Look, football's still a line of scrimmage game. I mean, we can sit here and talk about, well, this and that. The other thing is Tennessee's one of the least explosive teams in the country. And they're playing a team that, in order to defeat this team, you have to make explosive plays. It came from Jermaine Burton last week for Alabama and a couple of wide receivers. I don't know who it comes from with the Vols. Their leading receiver this year, Squirrel White, doesn't have a touchdown catch. They only have 5 catches among their wide receiving core, touchdown catches on the season. I mean, we're 5 games into the year, and you haven't played a hard schedule. People say, well, you know, Tennessee's running the ball. I mean, that's well and good. That's right. That's correct. But they've left so many passing plays on the field. And, you know, I'm just a big believer in, until I see it from you, I'm going to be suspect that you're able to do it. And they're going to put this game, A&M is, I believe this now, they're going to make Joe Milton consistently make passing plays on them. And Tennessee's last game out, they had 8 big plays through the rushing game, 2 big plays through the passing game. A&M is not going to do what South Carolina did with Tennessee. They're not going to let them run up and down the field. They're not going to have bad run fits with their linebackers. They're just not. I mean, they're just not. If you watched them last week, they're going to force this quarterback to make plays. Now, can he? Sure. Yeah, he can. I mean, everybody's allowed to get better. Everybody's allowed to have a great day. But I'm with Kelly from the standpoint of matchups wise, I do not like this game from a Tennessee perspective. There's one matchup I love, and that's Josh Heupel as a head coach in the moment against Jimbo Fisher in this spot as a head coach. One guy knows who he is and what he wants to do, and that's Josh Heupel. One guy last week was going for it on 4th down in the first half, and then in the second half went into a shell. You either coach one way or the other in these games. You can't do both. You cannot rob Peter to pay Paul when you walk into one of these football games. You can't kick a field goal after you take a timeout at the end of a game. Can you, Kelly? Can you walk your team out there and do that after you burn the timeout?
That was messed up. Yeah, that was messed up. And I talk about it all the time with the Titans. Is there anybody on this offense? It's amazing that Jalen Hyatt and Cedric Tillman are gone. And like now, I told this to George the other day and watching when he was on yesterday. Like, who scares you on the Titans receiving core? Like
Nobody.
DeAndre Hopkins can catch the ball, but he's not fast anymore. I mean, he's and I don't know if he's ever been great being fast, but like now you got Brew McCoy out, which was he's a really good player. And just watching Jacob Warren talk about him, he was the guy, and he does other things. He would block for guys downfield. Like, how much are you going to miss him? But like, who scares you on this receiving core to make the big plays that you got last year? Anybody?
Nobody, not yet. Now there might be a couple of kids that are sitting there that will have an opportunity to see emerge, but right now the answer is, for Tennessee, Squirrel White made a big play down, caught a ball down to the 5-yard line the other day, like a 45-yard catch. I think there's an opportunity for him, but again, doesn't have a TD reception on the year. I mean, that's but Jermaine Burton last week, coming in the last weekend against A&M, this is how bad A&M's pass defense is now. He doubled, basically, on the year his yardage and his touchdown catches in one game. That's how bad A&M's pass defense on the back end is. Now, their linebackers and their front line is going to get to you, but there will be plays to be made in your secondary. Can Tennessee's receiving core, like to your point, can they make those plays? And while we're on the subject of the Titans did something Sunday that I just cannot for the life of me understand why NFL teams are still doing it. Look, I'm an Eagles fan, okay? You got 4th and
pretty
short.
Good, too. They're pretty good.
You got Derrick Henry in your backfield. Why in the hell are you snapping a ball in a shotgun 7 yards backwards and handing him a football? Why is anybody doing that? In the modern game, when in college and pro ball, you can line up in a formation and do that, whatever they call it in Philly. Some people call it tush push, or I'm not really comfortable with that, but whatever people call it. Why wouldn't everybody, seriously, George, 4th and short, put your two biggest guys back there behind Tannehill, who's a big guy, and give him the football. How hard is that?
Tony, George really loves that play. Ask him about what he thinks about it. He really loves it. He likes it. He likes the tush push.
I think it ought to be outlawed.
He's right. But as long as it's a part of the rules, George,
you're right.
Why would we do it?
You're exactly
right. You can't stop
right.
it. You can't stop the play.
By the way, when Watson was on yesterday,
yes,
I don't think he wants to be your daddy. I think he's trying to make himself feel younger by saying, I'll be his big brother.
His brother. He did say that. He did say that. I'd rather be his brother than his daddy.
When is his next appearance on your show?
Tomorrow. I'm calling it Wednesdays with Watson.
Very nice.
That's great. And
we still call this thing Tuesdays with Tony, George, if you stop and think about it. I mean,
absolutely.
This thing here.
Next week.
And I tried to get Watson to help me because I'm still not on the opener, and I'm still really upset about it. I really am upset about it. I mean, it's amazing, but I can't even get on the opener. And like Watson is trying to get me on the opener because he's still on, and he's on for 30 minutes a week.
I don't see you in the commercials either. I mean, I'm not trying to start anything here, but
no, you are. I mean, you're right.
In the commercials,
you're right. I mean, it's unbelievable, Tony.
George, I don't see Kelly.
I feel like Ronnie Dangerfield. I have no respect, dude. I get no
Tony,
respect.
Well, let me tell you how pathetic he turned yesterday. He put a threat out on the air that unless the open is changed, he will not participate in the Plaster and Friends
sticking with that too.
Celebrity Bowling. So
sticking with it.
So hey, George, I am asking you, I'm begging you to be a part of this event, and to hell with Kelly.
What are
Let's
the-
just throw him to the wolves.
I'm always in for any good cause, but when is the event? It's like in the winter, right?
Yeah, the Monday after Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay. What are the chances by then that Kelly's on the Open? Like out of 10, what would you say?
I think
Kelly,
they're
what do you
pretty
think?
good, but let me put it this way.
I don't think they're good at all.
2.5.
It's not my
I'm not even
biggest
going
priority.
2.5.
25%.
It's not the biggest priority.
I mean, but we're falsely advertising here. We're saying Watson's on the show and he's not on the show anymore. I mean, I'm going to turn you into.
He is on the show. He's a part of the show.
It's called
He
bait
is
and
in
switch,
an
Kelly.
emeritus status.
It's called bait and switch, Kelly, is what we call it.
What do you call it?
Bait and switch. We want to get people in thinking they're going to see Watson and hope they stick around.
And then it's me.
When they see
Then
poor
it's
Kelly.
me. That's great.
That is beautiful.
Way to go, George.
Poor Georgie.
Way to go, George.
Georgie
That's all.
boy. That's great.
That is hilarious.
I hope you get taken down by the FDIC or something, dude. It's unbelievable. Let's go. I mean,
FDIC is a bank. That's a money.
whatever.
deal.
I don't know.
It's
Whatever
not the
it is.
FCC, you idiots.
FCC, my bad. I am an idiot for that. I was
Member
thinking the FCC and I
FDIC.
said FTC.
Oh my gosh.
That's funny.
Tony, does this kind of thing happen on your show?
Every day. I am well, my Bino,
FCC.
my
That's
partner,
funny.
Bino, these many years, he says that I'm a magnet for morons. So any moron in Knoxville finds my show and calls it. And then the silliest, goofiest, yes, I will get silly with you. But
So
I'll tell you this, guys. This SEC this year is really insane. Nick Saban's about to take a 9-3 team to an 11-1 year.
you're right.
That's what A&M did. They have a 9-3 roster.
And Tennessee
That's true.
probably wins. And if Tennessee wins on Saturday, you'll probably look back at a huge coaching mistake by Jimbo.
There's no question.
Listen to
That's
your
absolutely
future
what's gonna
employee there.
And then how about Georgia? Everybody thought Georgia, and then they just waxed Kentucky. Waxed them.
Yeah,
and then
I heard
Stoops
Billy
said, "We
talking
need
about,
more money. We got to get some
You
players."
got to have more money. Hey, coach, how about lopping $1 million of your salary off and putting it in?
No. We can't do that.
or get in your friend John Calipari's bank account.
Mark, there's another good idea. Mark Griffin's got a great line. He says, if you go to lunch with a coach, you'll hear a coach say everything to you, but I got that check.
They do
Coaches
one of these.
are not going to pay. That's right. They're alligators. They're Kevin Willis, short arm.
Oh, you are a beauty. Okay, how can they hear you, in particular Saturday, for the post-game show that never ends?
Well, and that's a good. I mean, look at me. Look how weathered and worn out I look. tclub.team is the website. And George, Game 5 of the Phillies will be going on then. So that's going to be like an 8 Eastern start, that game, because Dodgers will not be alive. That series will not be going on. That series ends tomorrow night, in fact.
Good.
Yeah, and I don't think either one of us wants to play that Arizona team, by the way. So it's not going to hurt my feelings if you guys get past the Phillies in 5. But I will be doing the show in here with my family sitting upstairs, fully distracted, taking one for the team, so to speak. But we're at tclub.team, and we'll be on for several hours after that A&M game, which I think will be a really compelling, interesting SEC football game that could go either way.
Okay, can I be honest with you?
Yes.
If there's a Game 5,
Yes.
I'll probably be there.
Right on, man.
Oh, yeah.
I don't blame you. There's just nothing like, I was trying to tell my niece this yesterday, there's just nothing like playoff baseball. You go live to that, and now Saturday's game probably didn't feel that way to you, George. But,
No, it did not.
But when Trey Turner made that play, you guys were getting ready to steal that game.
You're right about that. He made a hell of a play at short.
Yeah.
By the way, I just lost a train of thought. Anyway,
that happens.
We'll end here. Say goodbye to Mr. Jealousy over here.
Mr. Jealousy, I side with you today, Kelly.
Thank you.
I think you. In fact, George, I want him on the Open before Tuesdays with Tony next week. But you can make a Tuesdays with Tony graphic, and I'll forgive you. And but Wednesdays with Watson is tomorrow, my deal. So there you have it.
Tell Granddad hello for us.
I will. He's my older brother.
Right.
And Billy Derrick, there's room for you, brother, in the Vol Nation. Room for you. Come on down, Billy. Man. I'm going to tell you what. I'm going to put you on the phone with Tony Vols. He's going to be on my show Friday. Maybe I'll put you on speed dial, and we'll get you guys interlinked and change your life.
Billy, you're already ahead of me. I have not been on his show.
Change your life.
Man.
Wow.
But I fear it's going to happen soon.
Love you guys.
We explained Kelly's departure.
Yeah. Thanks,
See
guys.
you.
See y'all.
See you, Tony. Oh, he is a beauty. Love having him on.